Check out this $100 find. This is a 1977 Kawasaki Ke100. This is a two-stroke on-off-road bike. So it's a little enduro. Really cool little bike here. You don't see the yellow very often. So the seller said he's had this bike in his vintage bike collection for the past 20 years. He said he parked it 10 years ago when this bike wouldn't start or shift. So right now, he said that you can do the shifter and moves up and down, but it's not clicking into gear. So I'm hoping there's not something wrong with the transmission. I'm hoping it's just like a simple clutch issue. So maybe the clutch plates are stuck or something's preventing the actual shift shaft from clicking into gear behind the cover here. That's what I'm hoping. That's best case scenario. Worst case scenario, we have to split the case and fix up the transmission. Hopefully it doesn't come to that. But yeah, it doesn't run at all either, so it probably needs a full gone through. I'm guessing there's really old gas in there. This one should be a pretty interesting project and a good challenge for us today. One nice thing about this bike is it only has 2007 original miles. I mean, that's like nothing. So just being broken in. And I'd say it's probably 99% complete. So, you know, if we can get this bike up and running today, and we only spent $100, I think we got a steal. So let's get this one off the trailer, start digging into it. This one should be fun. Alright, a little walk around of the bike, a little close-up shot. You can see the tires are pretty dry rotted. Lens and bulb for the taillight are missing. Looks like the blinker back here is loose. It does have the original seat cover on here with no rips, actually. And just a couple tiny dents in the tank right there. But original tank and side cover here. Got the air box on there yet. This thing does kick over. And it does feel like it has compression. And then front blinkers are on it, headlights on it. Front tire doesn't look horrible. Has the original pipe on it yet. Chain and sprockets have seen better days. They're really, really rusty. But overall, not a bad looking bike for $100. So hopefully we can get this one running and shifting today. Nice little bike. So let's kick this thing over, see what it sounds like here, and then we'll start working on it. There's definitely compression, but it's really hard to kick over because this doesn't stay flat. It goes way back like that. So when you kick it, your foot slides off of it and hits the foot peg there. So something's up with that. I think this thing got bent at one point. You need to bend it back that way. See that? It's really far bent. But at least it has compression. Gives us a little hope. Alright, we got this thing in the garage. Let's start taking a look at it. First thing we're going to do is check the oil and probably drain this. Maybe it will give us a clue as to what's going on with the shifting. Because right now it's not shifting at all. And we'll go through the shifting here in a second. It looks pretty clear. Let's take a dipstick down there and see what that oil looks like. Let's just see if there's anything in here. Oh, it does say right here, 600 milliliters. It's kind of hidden there. It looks kind of reddish to me. That could be why. Almost looks like transmission fluid, doesn't it? I don't know. Let's see if there was enough in there. We'll check the check bolt. All right, check bolt's right there. What do we have going on here? Nothing's coming out yet. We'll tip the bike so that's straight, and we'll see if that oil level is correct here. Right about there is straight up and down. I'll tip it until it comes out. Nothing's coming out. Maybe it's just really low in oil. All right, coming down below here, the oil drain plug is right there. Hopefully you guys can see that. So let's get that off. See what that oil looks like. Hopefully there's no chunks in there, otherwise we're probably splitting the cases right away here. Oh yeah, it's pretty red. Hardly anything in there. It's already slowing down. One good thing, I'm not seeing any big chunks coming out. So we have a little hope there. Seems pretty thin though. Well, good news is it looks clear of any metal or metallic flakes. Bad news is there's hardly any oil in there. That's probably about half of what it needed. So it was definitely low in oil. But we still have hope, at least there's no chunks. So not only does this bike not shift, it also doesn't run. So let's check over a couple things here. I want to check the gas tank, see if that's all rusty. It's been sitting for the past 10 years. Oh yeah, that is really bad. Based on the gas cap, you can kind of predict how bad that tank's gonna be. That's some heavy rust. Ooh, that's not too good. I've seen worse, but that's pretty bad. Let's see if I can see the Petcock. I think there's some gas in here too. Yeah, it looks like there's gas in here. I wonder what that looks like. Quick checking over the brakes since we're up here. Front brake does work. Looks like a kill switch here, or for lights. It's either kill switch or for lights, I don't know. You've got your blinkers here, horn, and then lights high and low. Then your key actually does come with a key. And then your clutch. The clutch does pull in. It's a good sign. All right, let's take a look underneath the seat. All right. Let's see what's underneath here. It looks like you have the original battery in here yet. Wow. Look at that. And the oil tank is right here. This is for 2-stroke oil. Oh, there's some in there. Look at that. So that's filled up. And the battery looks like a little 6-volt. Because I don't think there's electric start on here. Let's see if that's hooked up correctly. You've got the ground going to the frame here. And you've got the positive going out. Just quick check the fuse just to make sure that's fine. And that fuse is actually good. So you don't need a battery to run this thing. It should spark without a battery. This is just for the lights, but you want to have a battery in place, otherwise you're going to blow the lights. So that all checks out. We can get a quick volt reading on the battery, but I'm guessing that's completely junk. What do you guys predict? I'm guessing like 1 volt. Let's see. This goes to here. Take that off. Where are we getting? 0.05 volts. That's not very good. So yeah, that battery's probably junk. All right, coming over to this side, underneath this cover is gonna be the carb. So let's get that cover off and see if that carb is still intact. And then underneath this cover here is the oil pump. So I think the plan for this one is going to be to first try to get it running and then try to diagnose the shifting issue. It almost looks like a new carb in there. Huh. Doesn't it? Looks like new lines going to it. Slides working. Yeah, that looks pretty much brand new. So aftermarket carb. Huh. Interesting. I wonder if the guy put that on right before he sold it, or before it sat 10 years. See what's going on underneath the cover here. So this cover is where the oil pump is. Ooh. All right. There's the oil pump. See if it's working with the throttle. Yep, that's good. I actually do see oil in this line. Let's crack one of these and see if any oil comes out. Okay, yeah, there's oil getting to it. You can see it dripping right here. So that's good. So oil's getting to the actual pump. We now know that, so most likely that pump should work. Right here is where the clutch is. See if that's activating. Oh yeah, that seems to be working as well. Alright, so this whole section actually looks really, really good. What we're going to do now is take off the gas line and see if any gas is flowing. It looks like right now it's on reserve, so let's turn it to off. Get a cup out and see what that gas looks like. I'm guessing it's just all rust inside this carb. Alright, let's take the gas line off of here. On there. There we go. Let's see what the gas looks like coming out. If it even comes out here. Ooh. Yeah, it's barely coming out. Just a little trickle. Let's see if I go to... barely coming out of there. Let's see if I take the gas cap off, see if it'll flow a little bit better. Nope. Oh, I can see a ton of rust in this line coming through. Well, that's why it wasn't running. Look at that rusty gas coming out. So I'm guessing every jet in the car was clogged up. Alright, so Petcock needs work. It's barely coming out of the Petcock. And obviously the gas has seen better days. It's really, really orange. Then there's rust chunks floating in the gas line. See what the bottom of the gas tank looks like. That's a little rusty, but not horrible. Looks like a new Petcock as well. What we're dealing with here. So coil is on there intact. Spark plug is still in there. Wires coming from the stator are attached. All the wires here. Oh, this one's disconnected right there. Which one is that? Blue and red. That was disconnected. See, that's why we check these things. So we definitely have to reconnect that one. All these wires are connected. Yeah, everything else looks pretty good. Alright. See if the spark plug is still in there. Yep. It's nice and tight. We're going to take a look at the boot here. Make sure that's okay. Ooh, looks a little rough in there. Boot looks okay though. But the wire, I don't see much of it, so let's cut back 1/4 inch. There, that looks better. Alright, get that back on. Alright, let's see what that plug looks like. Wasn't in there real tight. Looks like it's running a little lean. It's pretty white, unless it's a newer plug. Doesn't that look lean? Yeah. Before we check and see if we have spark, let's get a little lubrication down the cylinder. Just because it's been sitting for 10 years. Little cocktail going in of penetrating oil. And a little Marble Mystery Oil going in. Just to lube that up. And possibly free up a stuck ring. Alright, that looks good. Now we can turn this thing over slowly. Just kind of listen to what it sounds like. What we're listening for is any weird engine noises. So like piston slap, rod noises, ring scratching the cylinder, stuff like that. Let's listen here. Yeah, sounds pretty good. Pretty smooth. Before we go ahead and kick it over too many times, let's take a look and see what's inside the air box. Maybe a mouse is living in there. Oh, brand new air filter in there. Oh, what the heck? Yeah, it's brand new. Well, that looks good. Alright, here we go. Let's see what we get. Alright, turn the key to on. Oh yeah, great spark. Really good spark. Well, what the heck, why would this bike not run? Other than the carb being clogged. Alright, perfect spark. Huh. Do we have compression? So usually on these older two-strokes, you want at least 120 psi. Let's see what we get. Anything under that, usually the rings could be stuck or it just needs a rebuild. So we're hoping for right around 120. We're going to be doing throttle open, kicking it over. Let's see what we get. Oh man. There's quite a bit of compression here. Still going up, I think. Alright, it's tapped out right there. Let's see what we got. Oh, that's really good. 150 psi. Wow. That is a lot of compression for a little 100cc bike, especially a two-stroke, so that is plenty to run. I was not expecting it to be that high. Well, if it's not spark, it's not compression, it's gotta be the carb. So I'm guessing the carb has a bunch of rust in it from that gas tank. We could see rust coming down the gas line, going right into the carb. So I'm guessing that's packed full. That's probably why this bike doesn't run. Or this is a new carb and isn't jetted correctly. We'll see. Should pop right off of here. Alright, let's see. Take these two off. I think this choke can come off here. Alright. Now, take our slide out. That looks good. Yeah, this carb is pretty gunked up. I can already see a bunch of gunk in there, so let's see it. Yeah, choke's working. Kinda. Alright, let's take a peek in there and see what's going on. Yeah, definitely an aftermarket carb. There's no markings on it. No brand name. I'm guessing it's just a little cheap Amazon carb. So the gas is coming out of it now. So it was getting gas to it. There we go. Gasket's really stuck on there. Oh, there's water in it too, look at that. Look at all the water droplets in there. So I wonder if water got in the gas tank or what. You can see the separation of water right there. Not great. Let's see if the Float's working here. Working. Pin coming out. Tiny, tiny needle. Feels good. Float. Might bend that a little bit. Back. Seat. Looks clean. So I'm guessing what happened was this carb was leaking gas because a piece of rust got stuck between the seat and the needle. I'm guessing the guy took it out and bent that tab down to shut the gas off sooner. And really what it needed was a filter between the gas line and the carb. So that was probably why it was running lean. You know, this thing wasn't getting enough gas because this wasn't allowing enough gas into the actual carb. And that's why that spark plug was white, I'm guessing. So we're gonna bend this tab back to the center position where it was supposed to be. And leave it there for now. Let's see if they match up to the stock ones. Yeah, every single hole on this jet is clogged up with rust. Is the main jet clogged? Nope, main jet is open. And there's no marking on the main at all. So I have no idea what jet this is. No marking. So that's helpful. That's what you get with a cheap carb. All right, let's see if the pilot's marked at least. Here's the pilot. No marking on the pilot either. How can that be? Look at no marking at all. And that one is definitely clogged. Yeah. So heavily clogged on the pilot. Main jet was free. All these passageways I can see like rust in them. Like little pieces of rust. And then the air screw is right here on the front of the carb. So we are 1, 2, exactly 2 turns out on the air screw. Should be a little spring in there. Perfect. All right, that looks good. Now, take off the choke. Yeah, that looks good. That's working. Cool. So that's basically it. We're gonna blow through everything, clean up the carb really well, and we'll get that back installed. Carb looked pretty good, except for the pilot being completely clogged up. And the float tab right here was bent really, really far down. All right, carb is all cleaned out, looking good. Jets were all cleaned. Looking perfect. Pilot was gone through. That one's clear now. So we can get the car back together and back on the bike. Ooh. That's pretty bad. Look at that. It's completely rusted. Well, that was the color of the gas that was in there. Not good. Plus we know that water was mixed in there as well. So, all right, we're gonna take a look at the Petcock. We saw that the gas was flowing pretty slowly over there. So I'm guessing that's clogged up with rust. With an air compressor. The Petcock looks okay, you know, it's brand new, it looks like. So as long as we just clean it out really good, we should be fine. let's just see. We'll take this off, take a peek. Yeah. Oh yeah. There's some rust in there. There's some heavy rust buildup in there. That's nasty. So, I don't think there's any way to avoid that unless you clean out the tank and let it sit for a week with vinegar or some rust remover. Yeah, the tank is pretty bad. Man, oh man. Yeah, there's a bunch of rust in the bottom of that. O-ring looks okay, but you can see all the rust in there. This can come out. Doesn't look horrible in there. So we're gonna blow through the Petcock. We're gonna try to clean up this tank a little bit and try to get this gas flow to be a little bit better. All right, Petcock is all cleaned out, looking good. Got the bowl cleaned out. So we can put everything back together and then get this back onto the gas tank. All right, let's get the plug back in here. So we're hoping that the carb being fixed will help this run a lot less lean. We'll get that back in there. Carb back on. Cut out notched part goes towards the right side. Just like that. Now the gas line's gonna come through here and right into here like that. So we want the filter probably up here. So you cut a little bit out of here. Arrow is pointing down here. So that looks pretty good. All right, we're putting 600 milliliters of oil in here. Now we're using 10W40 wet clutch oil. See where we're at. More. Just a hair more. So we're gonna quick check the check bolt, make sure there's enough in there. Alright, and then the bike is tilted on the kickstand right now, so when we bring it level, it should start to pour out of here. Well, it's just clogged up or something. Alright, right there we're level. It's just pouring out. We are perfect. Alright, we've got some 40-to-1 mixed up. We don't know if the oil pump is working, so we've got a little oil mixed in the gas. Until we know that pump works, we want to run mixed gas here. So let's add some gas and see if it's flowing through the filter. Alright, nothing flowing yet. Let's turn this to on. There's some gas flowing. There we go. Let's see if it leaks out of the carb here. Because maybe they set that float for a reason, the way it was. I'm guessing a little piece of rust got between the needle and seat. Yeah, we're not leaking anything yet. It's holding. So we have good compression, we've got great spark, and now the carb's cleaned out and we're getting fresh fuel to the carb. Let's see if she fires up for the first time in over 10 years. Alright, here we go. Let's see what happens. Turn it on, choke it. A little boggy. Gas going to it. Doesn't want to run without the choke. Doesn't stay idling. Let's try to get this thing to idle. We turned the air screw in one turn. It's getting better. It's revving out completely now. That's with the choke off, I believe. Yep. So I found a couple different things. We turned the air screw one more turn in. That seemed to help. Then the gas cap, I don't think is venting properly. Yeah, there's no way. So we took the gas cap off and just laid it here. And then we saw the gas flowing a lot better. So we'll have to work on that gas tank vent a little bit, get that fixed. But it seems to be running pretty decent. The throttle here is tapped out completely, all the way in. And it still doesn't want to idle. So we're gonna work at that for a little bit, try to get this thing to idle, and then I'll come back. But carb's not leaking anything, so that's good. It's a good thing we changed that float height. It's idling. Once we add the cover too, it'll help it out a little bit, because right now it's just going out with no air filter. But yeah, sounds pretty good. No knocking in the top end at all. Bottom end sounds pretty healthy. You can see all the sand that came out of it. Not bad. If only it would shift. Yeah, that's idling pretty good. Let's see if it revs out completely with these settings. Goes right back down to idle. I think we've got this thing perfect. Let's see if the lights work. Oop, that's the kill switch. Starts right back up, first kick. Blinkers. Nothing's working. Yeah, probably needs that battery for the lights to work. Usually the headlight doesn't, but here, let's try that. Nothing. Can't tell, maybe that is on. Oh, that is on. That one's working. That one's not. That side's working. Yeah, so those are working. This side's not working. Ooh, a little sludge out of there. Well, she's running pretty good. Not too bad. All right, let's go get that cover back on, make sure that the oil pump is working. Alright, so here is the oil line going into the engine here. All we have to do is crack that bolt, which I might just loosen up the carb here to get to that. And we can see if oil is pumping in through there from this line. This line goes all the way back to the pump back there. Alright, let's see. Oh yeah, there's oil. See that coming out? So as you twist the throttle and this bike is running, this bike will pump oil out to this line. So it looks like that's working. Alright, so I don't think the gas tank is venting properly, because when we take that off, gas flows a lot better. So what we're going to do is try to fix that. It looks like there's a little hole here that's covered up. Yep. So we can actually take this all apart. We're first going to take a wire brush to it, get all that rust off. Try to get some of that rust off. Loosen stuff up in there. There we go. There's another seal, it looks like, right here. I think we're going to throw this in the ultrasonic cleaner for a bit, let that sit. Alright, just got these out of the ultrasonic cleaner. You can see they really cleaned up nicely. Alright, let's get this thing back together. So this is going to go on just like this. Don't think it matters which set you use. Now we're going to blow through it and make sure that air goes through here and comes out under that lip. Alright, when I blow through there, air comes out of here and out of here. So this is raised up a little bit, and that's why it allows that. So we can get our seal on, and that should work just fine. Alright, we got this thing running good. We got the gas tank vent cleared out. That's working now. Let's move on to the shifting problem. So let's see what's going on. Come over to here, and what it was doing when I first bought this thing, it shifts, this moves, but it's not shifting into gear. See that? So you can see nothing's happening. Oh, something happened there. Wait a second. That just went into gear. What? Yeah, that's in gear right now. Hey! I wasn't pushing hard enough. Let's see. There's neutral. See it? It doesn't want to go into second though. Oh, there we go. That went into second. Maybe it was just stuck a little bit. There's third, I think. It's a little sticky. Yeah, that's shifting. Well, what the heck? The guy was adamant that it wasn't shifting. I don't think he was pushing hard enough. You have to really push hard. Let's see. Yeah. Must have been stuck between gears or something when he was trying it. Now it's getting easy. See that? Neutral. First. Well, now it's shifting perfect. You know what maybe happened? For the trailer ride back, loosened something up and it was bouncing up and down. Because I haven't tried to shift it since we got back. Except for just now, so. That is interesting. I don't think we have a shifting issue anymore. Fixed itself. What the heck? I'll take it. I'll take the win there. Holy cow. Well, I think we can attempt to take this thing for the first ride. Now that shifts. So that's gonna go right there. Right here. Well, looks like the gas tank vent is working pretty good, revving out good. All right, let's see if she moves. Well, it goes in the gear, but it doesn't move. So it moved for a little while and then it just slips really bad now. So it's not working at all. What we might do is lift it up and see if that back tire spins when we put it in gear. Doing anything at all. Huh. Well, I was pretty hopeful there when it started shifting, but now that it's not moving, I think there's some major issues going on. I just tried adjusting the cable out further, so now there's a ton of slack in there, and still, it's not moving that back wheel. So, remember when I said the kickstart lever here was bent in? Look how far bent that is. It's supposed to be straight like that. I wonder if this thing fell on its side, somehow knocked this and bent something in there so that's preventing it from shifting, or it broke the case in there and it's not lining up, and the transmission gears aren't straight, because something's going on. It's acting really weird. So what we're gonna do is take off the side cover over here first, see what's going on beneath this cover, see why this isn't spinning. Maybe there's something going on with the sprocket too. Come on. There we go. Let's try spinning the sprocket here. Oh, it gets caught. Huh. Yeah, that gets caught there. That gets caught there. Yeah, that's spinning the wheel. We're draining the oil again. Again, not seeing any chunks or anything. Yeah. All right, we got the clutch cable off. We're getting the Kickstarter off now. Should come right off of here. Just like that. Got the bolt for it right there. Goes back in. There we go, got that one. Now they're stripping out pretty easily. That one came. That one came. We already got that one. Alright, last one coming out. This one was a tough one. That one's on there really tight. Almost broke that one. Getting that one out. Let's see how corroded that one. Look how rusty that one is. Holy cow. There we go. It's coming. Heard something fall. Ooh. I think that was just the clutch piece that goes right there. A little O-ring fell as well. I don't know where that was, but here's the cover. Holy. What is all that in there? What is that? Oh, that's not good. Oh, that's not good at all. What is that in there? That looks like all rust. Why is there so much rust in here? Was this thing filled with water or something? What is going on in here? Looks like it's missing clutch plates too. I think those might be the clutch plates. Look at it. I think these are disintegrated clutch plates. Yeah, look, that is a clutch plate. All those clutch plates broke apart and just disintegrated basically. Look at, that's what's left of them. There's a pile of old clutch plates. I have never seen that before. Holy cow. That is crazy. And we didn't see any of it in the oil. How is that possible? Wow. No wonder it wasn't working. Because look, there's like nothing left. There's like one left right there. Wow. So yeah, when you pull on the clutch, it doesn't do anything. It doesn't grab because those clutch plates aren't in there. So yeah, that would be the problem. I have never seen that before in all my years of working on bikes. That is the first. I was really not expecting that. Disintegrated clutch plates. You've got your 6 springs here coming out. Those aren't broken, those look good. Alright, let's see. Then we just have a little circlip in here. There we go. At least the inner basket part. There we go, whole thing's coming out. Alright. Alright, so the spring was behind here. But let's just take this piece by piece. Got the inner basket coming out, that looks good. Not seeing any damage to the inner basket. You've got your clutch plates, look at these. Broken right in half. Got your washer. Oh. So all the steel plates look fine, but these are just junk. They're all just broken apart. Not one of them survived. They're all cut in half or broken apart. And the clutch basket looks good too. So I don't know what the heck happened. Are they just really old from sitting? Or what? But yeah, that would be the problem. Wow. Spray this off here. Make sure there's nothing behind there getting caught up. Look at all that. Crazy. There. Alright, just taking a peek inside the transmission here, and you can see all the gears right there. So we're just going to spin this over and check out all those gears, make sure no teeth are missing from those. But yeah, you can see right now it is in gear, and it's turning the whole engine there. So let's put it in neutral. So far nothing broken. I don't know if you guys can see them in there. Kind of zoom in. You guys probably can't see, it's not focusing correctly. Yeah, but you can see them all. There's nothing broken. Yeah, so the transmission survived. It was just the clutch plates the whole time. I'm thinking what happened was the clutch plates got brittle from being so old. Then the guy dropped it on this side, it bent that Kickstarter, and it must have shattered one of the clutch plates, and that's probably why it stopped moving, because one of the clutch plates was missing, so it couldn't grab. And then what happened was those other clutch plates started to break because the clutch was spinning and it was catching some of those clutch plates and breaking them and grinding them up. That's my theory. So I think it all started with dropping it on this side, broke a brittle clutch plate, and then kind of, you know, spiraled from there. That's kind of what I'm thinking. But we're gonna go look up on eBay some clutch plates for this bike. Hopefully they still make them. Well, I think this is gonna be a pretty easy, cheap fix. So this set is $33. This one's $18. This one's $15. So the average is probably like right around 20 bucks for new clutch plates. And then we've got a gasket we have to get. Let's see here. How much is that? Right there is what we need. That guy. So this will be under 50 bucks for both of those things. And hopefully this bike will be fixed once we install those two things. Well, we're gonna order up those clutch plates, spend the 50 bucks for the clutch plates and the gasket, reinstall those, and hopefully that fixes our problem, because right now the bike isn't moving at all. And transmission looks good. There was no flakes or chunks in the oil, so I really do think the transmission's fine. I think it was just the clutch plates that broke, and I guess we'll find out next video once those plates come. So hopefully you guys enjoyed the video on the Kawasaki Ke100 from 1977. Getting this thing for 100 bucks, which was a great deal. You know, diagnosing the no start issue, getting this thing to run, and then taking it for the first ride and finding out it doesn't move, which led us to discovering the clutch plates that were all broken inside the clutch cover. So that was definitely a surprise to me. I've never seen clutch plates just disintegrate like that. So it's always something on these old bikes. You can never predict what could happen. So it's always fun digging into them and discovering the mystery as to why they're not running or driving. And hopefully you guys learned something. I know I always do working on these old bikes. So thanks for watching, guys. Thanks for subscribing. Stay tuned for next video. And until next time, we are out.